Vibrato is an Italian word that means to vibrate. And in music, we use it to describe that wavering, pulsating sound that you hear on sustained notes in the human voice and also in other instruments. It can add warmth and emotion to your voice, no matter what genre you're singing. So today we're gonna break it down. What is vibrato? How does it work in the body? How do different musical styles use it? And how can you start to develop it? So let's get into it. Vibrato is a slight fluctuation in the pitch. Guitar players oftentimes use vibrato when they sort of wiggle their finger on the string to create this kind of warm, shimmery sort of sound.
When I touch the string, my hand is not on the neck at all afterward.
So how does that vibrato happen in the body? If I take a look at my trusty vocal technique book, let me read you what it says, okay? It says, vibrato is a natural phenomenon. Vibrato results from nerve impulses in the larynx that have a typical frequency of 5 to 8 pulses per second. If the laryngeal area is appropriately relaxed, the laryngeal muscles naturally pulsate in time with this frequency. Early studies showed that the cricoid muscles are mostly involved with variations in pitch and amplitude, making a convincing case for involvement of the thyroarytenoids as well. Okay, what on God's green earth does that mean? We don't have to worry too much about the specifics, but basically it seems like the cricothyroid muscles that are responsible for stretching and thinning the vocal cords and also causing the pitch to go higher, as well as the thyroarytenoid muscles, which cause the vocal cords to get shorter and fatter and go lower in pitch. There's some kind of adjustment happening with these pulses within the larynx, and these muscles sort of adjust to create this oscillation in the pitch. So essentially it's sort of like a balancing act. So if you have a lot of tension in your intrinsic or extrinsic laryngeal muscles or in your throat, you might not get vibrato. So vibrato is something that happens naturally when there is no tension or as little tension as possible, and these muscles are able to relax and respond in this way. So basically you can try to see if you have a natural vibrato by just opening your mouth and singing one note. So if you make sure that you have a good support, if you take make sure you have enough air, take a good breath. So you might hear a little wavering, or you might not. You might hear something more like that's a little bit straighter. So we typically use that term straight tone to describe a sound that does not have vibrato. Vibrato shows up in different musical styles differently. So like if you listen to opera, you hear a lot of vibrato. So typically in that style, we really encourage the vibrato. We want to hear that movement in the pitch and hear that relaxation. And we want that sound to be really full. I mean, it used to be there was absolutely no amplification, right? So you've got to make your voice heard, and that big full sound is a really great way to amplify your voice. So if you imitate an opera singer, like, oh, if you just like sort of do that as, you know, jokey, you can actually oftentimes find a vibrato that you didn't know you had. If you just kind of play around with that and imitate that voice, that can be kind of a fun way to start with vibrato. Now in jazz, I would say that vibrato is kind of used sparingly. Ella Fitzgerald used vibrato. She definitely had a nice, beautiful, natural vibrato, but it was not used constantly.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you spread your wings and you take to the sky.
You hear, like a couple of my favorite singers like Blossom Dearie or Anita O'Day, they used a really straight tone. So not a lot of vibrato at all, and maybe it was more about the articulation or the phrasing rather than having the most beautiful, rich, full sound that results in that vibrato. But I hear, a lot of that vibrato is used as a way to sort of warm up a note at the end of a phrase. So you might sing something like, like The Nearness of You. It's not the pale moon. So I sort of like hold that note for a second and then add a little vibrato at the end. It's not the pale moon that excites me. Something like that, where you hold it for a second and then add that to warm that up. I think that's a really common use of vibrato in jazz. In pop and rock, it can really depend, I think. If you listen to somebody like Steve Perry from Journey, who honestly has a great voice, he uses some vibrato, but there's a lot of kind of straight tone, like speechy sort of stuff, but definitely uses vibrato on some of those longer notes. Freddie Mercury was somebody who I feel like was definitely using a beautiful vibrato to warm up some notes. Beautiful voice. And I think with more contemporary pop artists, it seems like, there's just like so much processing now. We've got auto-tune, which kind of levels things out, doesn't give us the opportunity to hear that warmth and character that comes in with vibrato, if everything's super auto-tuned and processed in a million different ways. So for me, I don't love to hear that. Like I can get on board with a fun song or whatever, but I'm not fun, okay? But like, to me, the human voice is beautiful for its imperfections. A lot of voices, I feel like, sound exactly the same because they've got the same stuff slapped on them. But like you can listen to somebody like Adele or like Miley Cyrus, definitely doesn't use that over-processed sound a lot. She's got a great voice for sure. So anyway, I don't know. I don't like that over-processed sound, but it's definitely a decrease in the amount of vibrato that we hear in stuff today. Musical theater is definitely a mix because I think it goes in and out between more speech storytelling kind of stuff like, will it happen? I don't know, whispery sort of stuff. And then big bombshell moments where you're holding out these big notes. So I think in general, musical theater tends to have a brighter quality, and I think sort of the same thing that can happen in jazz where you're kind of like warming up the end of a note. I think that can happen a lot in musical theater where you hold a big note, it's straight tone, it's this big sound, and then you warm it up a little bit. There's a lot of that belty sound in musical theater that can sometimes lend itself to a straighter sound. There is one musical theater guy who also I think does some pop stuff, the Dear Evan Hansen guy. Who's that? Oh, Ben Platt is somebody who has like an out of control vibrato. It's just like always going. It's not like a wide vibrato. It's like, like really quick.
No, I got nothing to say. Step out of the sun if you keep getting burned. Step out of the sun because you learn.
I mean, Ben Platt is like an amazing performer and beautiful voice. But I do find the vibrato to be a touch much sometimes. But it's his vibe. Developing vibrato can be a challenging thing, but essentially, I think the most important thing is to learn to decrease as the amount of tension that you have in your voice to be able to access that sound. There are some schools of thought that, you can start by doing a trill, and kind of work on it that way, like a half step or a whole step, to kind of practice what that feels like. I've never been like super into that idea. Like I sort of think that could lead to some of the unhealthy ways that you can get vibrato, because it's definitely possible to develop a vibrato not in the right way, in a way that sort of you're manipulating something else, Like you could manipulate your tongue, like that kind of thing. Or you can manipulate your jaw, like that kind of thing. Whitney Houston was famous for using a lot of jaw movement to sort of achieve vibrato. Not all the time, I would say, but she definitely did use that quite a bit. I say the best way to go about it is to decrease tension. So make sure that you're not tensing your shoulders. That could mean working on jaw tension, tongue tension. There's all kinds of things that can just grip and not allow you to feel free in your voice. So the more that you find that natural vibrato, I think the easier it is to increase your range and to move freely throughout your voice and have your voice just feel really easy. So work on holding long pitches, maybe just moving your head around, stretching your jaw and your tongue before you sing, and work with a teacher to decrease all that tension. So if you're interested in taking some voice lessons, I have a link down in the description. Come by and check it out. We can definitely work on vibrato together. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments how vibrato feels for you. If you have any other questions about vibrato, I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to be able to reach more people. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.